Well, it's time now to review headlines on today's newspapers. And doing the honors with us is the leading man with his angels, Steve Ayorinde, our Charlie. How are you?
Very well, thanks, Oji. We're missing one of the angels.
Yes.
Get well soon. Shaitan. All right, so we go straight into it, and we'll start with this day on Sunday. Let's take it from the top. The window story says Tinubu determined to strengthen anti-corruption fight, says Fagbemi, that's the Attorney General. 90, how our reports led to recovery of $7.2 billion. And another one, US seeks collaboration in anti-graft war. That's a story on page 5 of today's Sunday paper. And I think it's important that the Attorney General, we had a lot to discuss about him yesterday. You remember this one, you know, when he spoke about non-custodial sentencing and everything. Yeah. Here, he's speaking basically for the president. I would have thought that you would leave the number one, you know, to directly express his thoughts on such a sensitive matter like anti-corruption, you know, because that's one key area. I believe that many people will want to know what the president, where the president stands and what he would like to do in that area. But of course, as the chief law officer of the country, Fagbemi SAN is very much, you know, in order, you know, to say that the president is determined, and we hope to see how that goes. Below that, federal government exempt imported LPG from VAT customs duty. And the one below the masthead says, Tinubu, our challenges present opportunity to innovate and grow. That's on page 6. The other story there says Nigeria must form global alliances to end domestic threats. Shetima declares at convocation lecture. Urges course participants to move against transnational crimes, terrorism, others. The lead story itself says CDS, Kaduna drone incident won't reoccur in future military operations. Lauds Nigerian for showing understanding with the armed forces. 58 northern senators visit victims, donate 58 million naira. I believe that would be like $1 million naira each from the senators. Southern Kaduna seeks more support for victims. And then the cover picture, we have the uncommon governor they used to call him.
The uncommon, the uncommon Senate President.
Senate President, you know, celebrating his 61 in his hometown as if it is 60th landmark. You know, it's interesting when you see things like that. The First Lady of the Federation is there, and of course the wife of the celebrator himself, you know, been there. You know,
interestingly enough, he shares his birthday with Senator Natasha Akpoghi, who is also there celebrating her birthday.
The Kogi lady.
Yes, the senator from Kogi.
Was she there?
Yes.
In Akwa Ibom?
Yes, she was. She celebrated her 44th birthday with her Senate President, with her colleague.
Wow.
Yeah.
All the senators must have been there.
I mean,
as projected.
There were some projections about the co-celebrations, but it's lovely to see. You know, we always thank God for life and for our elder statesmen.
I mean, we must thank God for life. What a lot of people, I know the sort of thing that you will encounter on social media, you know, for matters like this, it is the sense of moderation, sense of, you know, appropriateness, if you like, at a time that those who are even, you know, celebrating landmarks are struggling, you know, to stay alive. So we congratulate the Senate President, but you know, sometimes sense of moderation can convey the message, you know, right?
Absolutely. Should we take this day's style?
This
the cover
style,
picture there. If we can pull this day's style up. Is actress Funke Akindele, former politician, talent, tenacity, and triumph.
Did you say former politician?
I'm sure I said that. She did run as a
former deputy governor candidate.
Deputy governor.
She's still a politician.
Are you sure she's still a politician?
Well, I mean, nobody retires from it.
Oh, are you sure? I highly doubt that. Well, they say we first. They say we first met Funke Akindele in the sitcom Need to Know, 1998 to 2001, where her compelling portrayal hinted at the stardom that lay ahead. But it was her iconic role as Jennifer that into limelight. The character of Jennifer, a hilarious and poignant representation of Nigerian life, won hearts and showcased Akindele's exceptional range as an actress. She reprised this role in 2015 television series adaptation of Jennifer's Diary. I mean, she is amazing, Jennifer Funke Akindele. I think that she's done very well for herself. I really did commend her when she took up that role as a deputy governorship candidate for Lagos. We were very impressed with all the work that she did, even just going around mobilizing market women, empowering them, talking about that. I'd like to see her do more of that as well. But now she has, rebranded herself, going back into acting. I believe she spoke with Oroma, but this interview must be a must read. Congratulations, Funke Akindele. Over to you, Adeswa.
Okay, now we're going to talk about The Guardian. The first story here is your prayers support needed in reviving ailing economy. Tinubu appeals to Nigerians. Says nation's democracy will be nurtured to discourage cupists in Africa. Oh, that's a heavy one right there.
I think it's the lead story of the cover story of The Guardian that should interest the president. More really.
Yes, the next story is Lagos, who owns the land. It's a picture. The picture there is of Governor Sanwo-Olu and the Oba of Benin. I'm not going to go into that.
Was that a piece that was written by?
Yes, it's a special report. A special report.
Given the back and forth.
Yeah,
Lagos, who owns the land, I think.
Who owns the land?
It's a big story. I believe you sent me a piece. I didn't have a chance to read it.
In my opinion, one of the most interesting and impactful opinion articles on the whole the Benin's founded Lagos, who owns Lagos kind of a thing, that was done last I think it was on Monday by Dr. Lasisi Olagunju, of the Tribune, one of the best writers, opinion writers that we have these days. And his argument is simple. It's just appealing to logic, that it is not in doubt that the Benin's, of course, played an important role at the beginning of Lagos, and especially in the way that the Obaship of Lagos is modeled after the Benin royal institution. But his quarrel, which appeals to logic and common sense, is that there was an issue with what the king said about founding Lagos and Benin being the source of Lagos State. And his argument, and he cited many scholarly references to say that if there were people, namely, of course, the Aworis, that you met on the ground and conquered, you couldn't have founded, using commonsensical English, you couldn't have founded a place where you had to conquer the people who were there to settle there. But again, it says, but it is not in doubt that the Benins have a way. But if you want to stretch the argument, which I believe that this is what the Guardian is trying to do.
Actually, I think it's a response by Banji Akintoye. If we can.
Dr. Banji Akintoye.
Yes, this is a response.
Who's another illustrious historian. By the way,
yes.
Is that the Guardian story you're referring to?
It says, it also says who owns Lagos. Is that the response from Banji?
Yes, the unending debate over founders of Lagos.
Yeah. Professor Akitoye is an illustrious historian. But history is about who is saying what. It's not so much as to say that is the golden truth. It depends on whose truth you are speaking. But who owns Lagos?
History is
my favorite
with oral history books and things are written down. Even if you go into the pyramids, you'll see
my favorite thing about history.
It's not just about go ahead.
Is that there's always a master narrative, and then there are other narratives.
And what's your master narrative
on this matter?
on this matter?
Oh,
The master narrative to
okay.
me.
No, so I
if
think
you're
for
not-
me,
yeah.
I think when we talk about the founding of Lagos, like
Yeah.
what Lagos is today is not what Lagos was back then.
Absolutely.
Even the identity of being an Edo person did not exist then. If I was there, I would have just been a Benin girl, right?
Absolutely.
The identity of being Yoruba, I believe, Oyo people were used called Yoruba, but then you had Saros, you had Aworis, you had different multitudes of identities. At that time, Lagos was even its own colony. It was seen as a different country from the hinterlands, from the different, from what we now see as Nigeria.
That's Lagos Island.
Yeah, no, but the
entire
colony
Lagos.
of Lagos
Yes.
was its own standalone identity
Oh, yes.
before it entered. So we can stay on this argument forever,
Yeah.
but I don't think
for me, I
there's.
don't see any argument actually. Who owns Lagos is not in doubt. It's a Yoruba thing. Who are the Benis? There is a trace to the Oromiyans. The Benis have an affirmative link to how Lagos developed in terms of harborship and in terms of the tiny part of Lagos, without a doubt, but you could not have founded a place where you met people on the ground and you had to conquer them to be there. I think that's the logical thing that
that is your opinion.
Yeah.
Mr. Charlie,
I'm quoting what the article you asked me to quote.
Oh, you mean the person's opinion?
Yes.
Well, all right. I wish we had more time. We had a lot of stories on the papers, but Mr. Charlie, this is where we end today's newspaper review.
All right, Angels, it's been a lovely Sunday.
I love it.